eligible. I did it.
Show me your envelope. Wait, where's your little sign?
No, that's after.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna be like sign.
I can't put, I don't know what to put down yet.
Oh, does it have a town? Oh, you're right. It does. I wasn't here for mine.
I know. And you would put neurology.
I would have put neurology. I knew I matched neurology. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my goodness, it's been a year exactly to this week that I was in this situation. I was in Match Week. In this video, we're going to go back to that year and then go forward to right now and see what it looked like, what lessons I got, Match, Algorithm. So process, I applied to family medicine and psychiatry. So I didn't know if I was going to be a family medicine doctor or a psychiatry resident. Did the Match Algorithm make the right decision? Did it? I don't know. We'll see. And so I had to have faith that whatever happened would happen. I failed step 1 twice. I took a leave of absence. I had to be in a different year than my husband. So he went on to residency. I was a year behind him. I didn't know that if I matched in the same area, if we would have to move to a separate area. At this point, we've been together for almost 10 years. A lot of stress on this key moment. This is advice for medical students, residency applicants that are going to be in this match through this week, and also for family members, because it's a complicated process. I'm going to take you back and explain a little bit of why it's important. So going back to match day. So what is this match day? We go through 4+ years of medical school. If you're in the United States, you take 3 or 4 years or more of undergraduate degree. You maybe do a master's or a post-bac program. You go to medical school for another 4 years, and then you apply to different programs in the specialty you hope to work in. And sometimes you have to apply to a couple specialties because there's just not enough specialty spots for all the applicants that are applying all around the US and even around the world to match in the programs in the United States. And so after they submit their applications in September, and I know this not just from my own experience, but I helped tons of medical students and residency applicants during this past cycle, so I can tell you some advice from them. So they apply in September. From October to February, they are receiving interviews, hopefully, and interviewing. It used to be in person. Now a lot of them are virtual. Some are in person, but most are still virtual. Virtual interviews where you meet with the program director, the associate program director, residents, attendings, and sometimes even people like the chair or the CEO of the hospital. I did it. Okay, so then you have a list of all your programs that you interviewed. You then get to decide in February how you're going to rank those. Let's say you get 20 interviews. You might want to rank from 1 to 20. 1 being the ones you like the most. I did another video that you can watch of how I recommend rank them on your individual gut feeling and your interests and your family, so many aspects. So 1 to 20, you don't have to do all 20. That's also a misconception. You could do just a couple of them. Most people still do all of them unless they really got bad vibes and did not want to be in that program, or if they really just got too many. I was lucky enough that I decided not to go to interviews because I had enough interviews in the specialty that I wanted. I decided not to rank all of them because I wanted to increase my chances of being with my husband in Chicago. But again, not everyone does that. Okay, so we submit our rank list. Now on the residency side, the program directors, the attendings, and even sometimes the residents. I was really lucky that now that I'm a first-year resident, I got to be a part of these residency picks where we got to provide our advice for the applicants. If we got a good vibe, bad vibe, any thoughts that we had, not just from the interview, if we met them on their sub-I, if we met them offline on social media, watch your social media. So we provide advice to the program director and then they rank all applicants. Now, I'm going to scoot back. I misspoke before. I thought that if you received an interview, the program ranked you because that made sense to me. But what I learned now, being a year later from this process, not necessarily. Program directors don't necessarily rank everyone, not to scare everyone, but there's usually, from what I spoke with program director, there usually is a really big reason why, like maybe they lied on their application or something big happened for them not to rank, but usually they do rank. So then the program submits their rank of, let's say, 200 applicants, maybe they interviewed 300, and then the applicant also submits there. Then it goes into a computer and the computer matches up in preferences the applicant. And so if the applicant goes in and their number one program has now matched all the previous people ahead of them, then they'll go down, what was your number two? What was your number three? I remember last year when I was applying, there was a statistic that about 95% of individuals, US MDs, do get within their top three. Now, obviously, I do know people that didn't get their top three, but thankfully I was one of those that did get in my top three. And I think a lot of it is if you had additional red flags, or maybe you didn't apply as broadly, maybe you didn't dual apply. So there's a lot of things. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So that algorithm then goes in. Now, some specialty do match before this week. I was very confused with that. Some of them are like urology, ophtho, they matched beforehand. Sometimes they have a different program. I don't know. The programs that I did, family medicine, psychiatry, were all during the regular match. I wrote a couple of things in my diary that I don't think I've shared yet with anyone, but I wanted to share because I thought it would really get the vibe of what it was like being in the stress, being in the emotions of that week. So this is one of them that I wrote on Sunday. Okay. I was doing so well. I wasn't anxious. I doubt it. I was masking. I tried to explain to my cousin, who is not in medicine, how the match process works. I explained that it's like the sorting hat in Harry Potter, where I select my top program that I want to go to, and programs each selected their favorite applicant. My cousin asked me what happens if I don't match, so then that led me down the spiral, really in my head. But then I was like, okay, I do feel lucky. I don't know if I've been lucky or if I've just worked ridiculously hard to achieve everything, because I failed STEP, took a leave of absence, and still I was able to receive interviews and even had the opportunity to rank programs and specialties that I actually want to. So in my mind, I focus on logic because that is how I manage stress. It's not the healthiest way to manage stress. I focus on logic and the positive that there's a greater likelihood of matching into one of my top programs than not matching at all. However, now I'm freaking out that possibility is going to happen less than 25 hours that I might not match at all. And then going through that scary process of STOPE, of interviewing again for programs. And I'm scared because I've been so vocal on social media about my challenges, about my disabilities, about my health conditions. And then what if after all that, I have to STOPE or not match at all? But the reality is everything will be okay. And there is options if I don't match tomorrow. Logically, there's not a high chance of that happening. But there are other people who've done it. there was someone who was very similar to me that I knew well that had taken leave of absence, had failed step, and they soaped and they applied psychiatry. That was really scary. Okay, so then I started going into a rabbit hole of what would I do? I'm in $350,000 of debt. But anyway, what I finished off is at least I have my degree, which is true. This is just Match. You can still graduate medical school, and then there are options after. There are other things. There are research. They're applying the second year. I helped this year people match, hopefully match. We'll find out here in the next couple of days. But I'm pretty confident they will match, even if this is their second year applying, even if they were IMGs, even if they failed, because they applied broadly. They were genuine and showed who they are as individuals, and they received plenty of interviews. So I'm pretty confident they'll match. I don't know if they're confident. I'm sure they're not, because I wasn't. Monday hits, and that's when you find out if you match in general, if you match a program. I was very scared at first because I was waiting for an email. They did not send an email. I had to log in. Yes! Not soap eligible.
You're not soap eligible.
And then see, not soap eligible. What is soap? Soap means that you did not match into a program. There are other residencies that have 1 or 2 spots. They didn't match, they have an open spot. Or maybe they're a newer program and didn't get enough individuals interviewed. So you now have SOAP eligibility. Match just happened. Congratulations for everyone who matched. And so I'm going to go into a quick part of what SOAP is. Yes, I did not do it myself. However, now I've watched a couple videos and did a little bit of research about the SOAP process because people have been messaging me. I also connected with some of my co-residents who did go through the SOAP match. Yes, my co-residents in psychiatry. They originally didn't, some of them didn't match psychiatry. They had to do a prelim year and still their following year got into psychiatry with me. So it really just shows that it's just another bump in the road. I'm sure there have been other challenges in your life, and this is just another part of the journey. I'm sure you didn't expect it. I didn't expect failing step 1. I didn't expect failing different courses. But it's just a step. I know it feels like a failure, and I know I don't know exactly what you feel like. And no one but you or other people who's gone through the same process will know exactly what it means. But I do want to just share my empathy of feeling like a failure and know that you will still become a doctor. You will still graduate. This has nothing to do with whether you graduate medical school. If you're an IMG, you are already a doctor. Just wanted to put that out there. Also, let's go into, for people who aren't in medicine or family members, or you've been watching this video, what is SOAP? Monday, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Central Eastern Time, medical students find out if they match, if they partially match, or don't match at all. If they get partially matched, maybe that's just 1 year, like a transitional year, they will have access to all the other programs that have unfilled positions. And so they can look at, okay, how many, what universities, where are they in the United States? Maybe it's not even in the specialty they apply to. Maybe it's family medicine or internal medicine. All of them, except for 2 of them, it sounds like OB-GYN and plastics, I think, but not quote me on that, are separate programs. So people are going to put in their full application. They have by tonight at midnight to do their whole new application. Oh, another thing to say, applicants that are in SOAP can only apply to 45 programs. So there is a limit. Now, I talked to one of my co-residents. When they did it, it was 60. So much bigger. They have to do by midnight tonight. And then tomorrow, applications will be reviewed. In the following couple days, people are going to be on their email, on their phone, waiting to receive a phone call or email and interview you. If you are a family member or friend, support them. Remind them that they're not a failure. Remind them that you care about them. Remind them that you're going to be there for them. Maybe you're going to help bring them an ice cream, bring them a coffee as they finish their application into the night. You can only apply to another program. So watch the video on how to dual apply, because that's what you're doing. Maybe send in updated COMLEC or updated USMLE exams. Make sure on the personal statement, edit it. Don't just send the same one. Edit it to show the positives. I'm not going to go into how to make an awesome personal statement. You can see my other videos for that. You also need to maybe contact your school, contact people that have applied in the past, get their advice. But I'm specifically talking about if you're applying to internal medicine and you don't have internal medicine letter, reach out to your school, reach out to the clerkship director, because they should be on call to write a statement. Hopefully you have some connection with them already. And make sure when you do your personal statement, you can do one specific to each program, just like the regular EAS. Be very specific. Make sure you're sending the correct one, correct letter to each program. Remember, you're not allowed to contact the programs. They contact you if they want to interview you. And according to the people I've spoken with, it's a quick 10-15 minute interview. So practice, especially if you haven't done it. I work with other students who do practice interviews. So let me know if you would like to sign up with me, or you can see the pre-recorded interviews that I've done with the previous cycle on psychiatry, internal medicine, family medicine, DO, IMG. So practice, because it's a quick 10-15 minutes. Be yourself, be kind, explain who you are, why you want to be in that location, why that school. And then on Thursday, there are multiple rounds. What I've been recommended to tell you all is that accept the first program. There are different rounds. If you deny and say, no, I'm going to wait to the different round, you cannot go back. Just accept the first program. There's other possibilities next year. So yeah, that is the SOAP. That is a quick and dirty SOAP process. Hopefully I'm going to have interviews with people who have SOAPed either this cycle or in the past on future episodes. Make sure you subscribe so you can see them, and let me know if I can help you. I'm post-call today, so I'm here to help edit applications, do quick mock interviews. I'm here for you. Check out my website, medpsychmoss.com, for more details. That is the SOAP. It's like all this stressful additional thing. Match is already stressful enough. Why they have to do this? Anyway, the challenge is medicine. Okay, let's go. Friday at noon, I think. Noon Eastern time, because I think it was 11 Central time. You get an email. Everyone gets an email of the location they match and the specialty they matched. Now, I was confused because like I said, I dual applied. So I just found out that I matched on Monday. I didn't know what specialty. And so it was super confusing. So let's watch the video. That way you can see my confusion of that I matched into a program, but it said Chicago. And I was like, yes, Chicago. That's the location I want to be. It didn't say which specialty, and made it even a bit harder. Some programs I applied family and psych in the same university. So it was even more confusing. I'm trying to think back to that letter. I don't remember if it said. I don't think so, because that even stressed me out even more. So let's watch that.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, yeah, you can see I was so confused. I was like, Chicago. And then to make it even more confusing, I didn't know that was the medical schools and residency's name. I always knew it by Rosalind Franklin University. That's how I wrote it down on my match list and everything. So I was like, Chicago, UIC, U of C. I'm so confused, but Chicago Medical School. And that's why I'm like, oh, that's Rosalind Franklin. I matched psychiatry, which was my top specialty, the specialty I wanted. Okay. I think one of the hardest things about that week was listening to the naysayers or trying not to listen to the naysayers. I remember meeting with my school that week. Well, and the week before, the people I was supposed to look up to or at least get advice from were very focused on preparing me for failure, preparing me for not being able to match, preparing me mentally for not matching psychiatry. If that's the nice way they were doing it. There's also the way that they possibly didn't even believe it. And so that was really painful to hear, even when I matched on Monday. And I was then told, yeah, but come on, it's psychiatry. You're not going to match. You'll probably match in family medicine. That was really painful to hear. But I did it. I'm looking at some of my other journals that I did, which is so important when you're going through this process, to just journal, express your emotions, even if you can't do them physically, even if it's just writing it down or recording yourself or drawing about it. Emotions will be all over the place, and it's important to lay them out however they come, because they will be all emotions. There's not bad ones. There's just different emotions. I'm looking at a journal from that Monday, and I wrote down, riding the match high. Jonah, my husband, has been asleep for an hour, and I just can't seem to slow my mind down. I must be pumped with cortisol, riding the energy wave of matching into the program. I was good enough. A program wanted me. Failures, leave with absences, professionalism, challenges, stigmas. They didn't pull me down. Go read my professionalism article on Doximity. Granted, I didn't know if a psychiatry picked me or a family medicine program, but they did it. Of course, I still have 2 more psych programs, 5 psych, 9 family medicine I ranked. I can't believe it. I was so scared this morning. I was literally counting down the minutes and seconds, which I rarely do, even for New Year's. Jonah was busy making waffles and coffee, and I just literally couldn't sit still, which was the longest 30 minutes of my life. I tried to keep calm by cleaning, dancing to my music, and I couldn't contain my fear, excitement, anticipation. 9 a.m. hit, and there was nothing. No email. And then I went online and then I said, okay, it's not that the program's down. I have to go on to the website. Okay, so I go on to the website. And I just held my breath and it said SOAP not eligible. So which means I matched. Then I received an email. Whew, it was just surreal. All my hard work boiled down to this moment. Now I understand why I'm struggling to sleep or just calm down. Now I have to wait till Friday to know where and what type of doctor I will be. But I get to be a doctor. I get to work as a doctor. I did it. Let's go forward. It was a good review. Now what happens next? It's March. Some people have April rotation. Some people take time off. I think I had 1 elective that I still had to do. A lot of people start thinking about, okay, now I have to move. Now I have to get housing. Now I have to start packing. There's another video that I created during that time. Financial challenges of moving. But that's another video for the future. I did record it. I just never published it. So I will need to publish it. And then you get 2 months off. All residencies usually start by July 1st. Usually there's about 1 to 2 weeks of orientation. They will email you a date that you have to be there for orientation. You don't get paid until after July 1st. So even if you're in orientation for 2 weeks, you're uncompensated. That student loan, if you're on student loans that you receive like in January or February, that's supposed to last you all that time. Finances is hard during that time. People take time to move, maybe go on vacation. My husband was finishing up his first year of residency. Thinking about it, I think he was taking step 3, which I'm going to record right after this my step 3 because I'm finally done with my step 3. And so I have a lot of advice. So make sure you subscribe and so you can see that video. Yeah. Did the match make the right decision? Yes, it did. The only thing maybe didn't is if I did family medicine, I definitely wouldn't have needed to study as much for step 3 because it's your daily. Psychiatry, we do 1 month of internal medicine. So that was challenging. I did have to study a lot more than my husband, who spent an entire year of his PGY1 intern year in internal medicine. So that was different. Did they make the right decision for psychiatry? It was not my number 1. It's not my number 2. It's my number 3. That was hard. Looking back, I'm so glad. And I've spoken with this offline with people. I'm glad that I matched at RFU because they're not a workhorse. My number 1 was a workhorse. And what that means is they were hitting 70, 80-hour weeks. I barely hit 40, maybe 50 hours. I get to actually spend time with patients, which is why I went into psychiatry. Maybe my first and second, it was just a lot of busy work. In the program I matched, I got to work with a very unique population that nowhere in the country, literally no one gets to work with, which is cadets, Navy cadets, and recruits in boot camp. That has been a phenomenal experience. Also, when I'm on call, I'm the only one on call as an intern. That's scary. And so you can see the videos that I've done on that. It has prepared me. I've learned a lot this past year. I'll do another video since we're focusing on match here of really looking back of things that I've learned. But anyway, I think it's so important to remember to ignore the naysayers. No matter who they are, they say you won't match because you failed or because X, Y, Z. That's not true. They're not the computer system. Unless they're a program director, and even then, maybe they won't match you. Doesn't mean other programs won't. Doesn't mean other specialties won't. Doesn't mean that it'll never happen. There are ways to do it. And I'm very excited to bring in advice from all the people that I worked with over this past cycle who had those red flags. I'll put below a Google form that I hope that you will share that information, and it'll be anonymous. You can also, if you don't want it to be anonymous, you can put down your name, or you can actually say if you want to be interviewed with your face, without your face, because we need to destigmatize these things. We can't make it this huge thing. People learn different ways. People take exam different ways. People want to be different types of doctors, types of specialties. And what matters is the end of the day is you deserve to be here. You've worked hard enough to get here. So stop discouraging people. Stop discouraging medical students and applicants because it's harmful for them. Let's break this toxic culture of medicine because that can really damage how they view themselves. And already we do not do a good job in medicine of taking care of the mental and physical health of the people that take care of others. Looking back, remind yourself this week how far you've come to get you to match day. What hurdles have you overcome? I guarantee there were hurdles. So just believe in yourself, even when others don't, because I believe in you. 2025 applicants, congratulations for getting here. Congratulations for matching. You got this. And please put in, you don't have to right away, but put in the comments, or you can also fill out the Google form sharing your advice for future applicants. I'll be helping other applicants for the 2025-2026 cycle. So if you're interested, go on my website, medpsychmoss.com. You can see blog posts, videos that I've already created. I shared my full ERAS application. I shared my full match list that you can see how I ranked, what were my feelings for all my programs. I do personal statement editing. I do mock interviews. And then I do full package. I really try to make it as affordable as possible. If it's not affordable to you, please let me know and we can figure something out. The only reason it's not free because I don't have infinite time and I can't help every single person. I wish I could. You can do it. Future match applicants, you can match, you can become a doctor, and you can accomplish your dreams. Don't give up. Good luck, everyone.